right, everybody, Jeff Beggins here. I'm really excited to timestamp this because I love watching predictions come true, and this is the way to do it. And back history for those who haven't been watching the channel, don't really know what we're doing. This is our 35th year, right? C21 Beggins. We got offices all over the state of Florida, several hundred people, $1 billion a year plus in sales. We know what we're talking about, right? We've got the experience up and down in every marketplace. What I'm talking about today, this is the west coast of Florida, west central coast of Florida, Treasure Island, Madeira Beach, Reddington Beach, Indian Rocks, Clearwater Beach area, right? The whole Pinellas County Gulf Coast is what I'm specifically talking about today, but it's going to go further about because it's more conceptual. So where we are, if you pan over the bridge here, I'll slow down. We are right at a really cool place called Johns Pass Village, right? Johns Pass Village, there's 4 million visitors come to the city a year, and all tours, and there's shops, there's bars, there's floating tiki bars, there's not a casino cruise, but eat cruises and jet ski rentals and parasail boats and flying tiki bars, all kinds of stuff, right? And we got hit. We got a hurricane. We had 2 hurricanes this year, and it was just devastating. It was terrible. It still is not good, and people are suffering a lot, and the restoration is coming. But here's the fun part. Restoration is underway, and this is for you guys really important, because if you're watching this, you're intrigued in real estate. You're either a buyer, seller, or soon to be want to be one of the two in the future. So this specific area, I'll use as an example. But we got completely flooded out. We were 4.5, 5 feet of water across the whole thing. Everything on ground level had a tough time, right? And this area here, Johns Pass Village, is about 90% open, and this is 4 months post-storm. The other ones are in process of opening. They're waiting on the permits and actually doing the work that needs to get done. Now, why is that important? Because I'm here, I live right around the corner from here, and I'm here often. I got little kids, there's ice cream shops, you guys do the math, that's why I'm here all the time. It's fun to take them around. But it's full. You go on the weekends, you go on the busy days, there's not a spot in the parking lots, right? So people are back. Yet, I'm gonna take a good example and go down this street, okay? And I'm going to show you what happened, because as a seller, if you own property, I know a lot of you watching have been following this channel for a while, if you own a piece of property and you're worried about the valuation of your property, do not sell it unless you absolutely need cash. If you absolutely need cash, talk to me. There's other ways to do it other than selling it. You have one of the most valuable assets of your life sitting here still, because under everything is the land. Now, these houses here, let's just use as an example, and this is any beach town anywhere, right? So you've got these houses built in the 50s, 60s. They're all ground level. You've got wall air conditioning units. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's what you did in the 50s and 60s, and they haven't done anything with it. And then now you've got land value. Let's talk about that one. Pre-storm, you weren't going to touch a waterfront anything for less than $1 million, right? And I know a lot of you watching from around the world, around the country, are like, what? You can get a waterfront in a beach town, right, a block from the beach for $1 million? Yeah, you could. Now, here's what's happened. This now, these are selling in the 600 range right now. Mind-boggling to me. And this I really want you to talk about. That person should not sell that house for $600,000, because the lots were proven to be worth way more than that before the storm. So why would you sell the lot plus the home for less than what they were? Now, supply and demand's a part of it. Now, somebody tore this one down last year and put this one up. This one's on the market for $3.5 million. Or do the math, right? You buy a piece of dirt for $1 million, you put $1 million into the home, that's $2 million, you sell it for $3.5, you got $1 million in profit, right? There's arbitrage in that number, which means these homes are worth way more than $600,000, right? Any way you slice it. So I hate when I see people selling houses too cheap, panically. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm flooded out, the 50% rule is too much, I can't repair my house. Not true, right? We know how to do it. We know how, we have the appraisers in hand to do the actual cash value appraisals to get the structure value up so they can actually rebuild their house should they want to update it at current level. I personally don't think it's smart, but that's just my opinion, right? You don't have to share my opinion. I don't think it's smart to build anything on ground level anymore, because we get storms and we're gonna get more again. So why would you put $75, $80, $100, $120,000 into a structure that at some point in time, maybe next year, it's gonna happen again? It just logically doesn't make sense. Now let's look at evolution. There was a $3.5 million house. Let's pan to the right here, Taylor, just for excuse me, fun. There's a duplex. Now they're still cleaning their house out. It doesn't look great, I get it. And the next one too. But we're gonna keep going around this corner because I want you to just kind of see opportunities there. And you guys put a little thumbs up when you see something that is a little bit unusual in the marketplace here. Old single-story house, old single-story house, old single-story house. Old, what's this? Let's pan up on that thing. That doesn't look like an old single-story house. It's the exact same lot as the other ones. That's about to hit the market at $7.5 million. Do the math for a second. What's that dirt worth? Here's a question. There's a lot right next door. It's for sale. $1.29 million for the piece of dirt. How this is still on the market is beyond me. Look to the right. $7 million house. Look literally 3 feet to the left. 1.2, same size lot pretty much. You could build say it sells for $7 million house. It doesn't cost $7 million to build that house. You got a couple $1 million in construction. You got $1 million or so in the lot. There's a couple $1 million in profit on a home. Right? Let's do that. Off to the right, there's opportunity everywhere. So here's my point. If you're a seller, do not be the seller that discounts properties right now. This is a short-term emotional situation that people are in. Now, I don't care, even if you're in North Carolina right now, you're in Asheville, you're in Port Charlotte, you're in Naples, you're in Fort Myers, you're up and down the coast, anywhere here, it doesn't make sense. Do not sell unless you have to. Right now, I think people that are transacting are doing it emotionally, and nothing ever good happens when you do something emotionally, and especially in real estate, and especially without representation. Right? People call me all the time. They went into the office, they call me, they send me messages here, DMs saying, what should we do with their house? My answer is always the same: don't sell it, right? Unless you absolutely have to. If you have a better use for your money, that's the only thing that will justify me saying, okay, it's a good idea to sell. If it's not something you need to do, don't do it, because 4 months from now, totally different. A year from now, totally different. And if you want to look at it from an investment scenario, every single thing needs to be thought of a couple years from now, right? And you fast forward a couple years from now, we don't get any storms, this is what's going to happen. So you have these little houses on the water. You've got some of these little multifamilies on the water. They're going to sell. A lot of them are in the process of selling now because the ground floors have been flooded out. And the owners are deciding whether or not they want to fix them up or not. I'm talking and consulting with a lot of them right now and giving them ideas and thoughts and pros and cons about fixing it up, doing whatever you do. So you fast forward 2 years from now, and when this one sells, if and when this one sells in the $7 million price point, game on, right? That just rebases the entire marketplace over here. So 2 years from now, it's going to be a no-brainer for somebody to buy any of these houses on the water for $1 million, $1.5 million, $1.6 million, $2 million, right? That just rebases the entire marketplace. Anything waterfront, I'm personally building a couple of specs right now, right? And they're going to sell for $2.5 million a year and a half from now, probably maybe $3 million. If rates go down, now everything goes. Now, aesthetically, when you're driving down a neighborhood like this, right? Love it. I live here. I can talk about it. It's not very attractive, right? If you're buying that $7 million house, some of the buyers for that $7 million house are like, excuse me, not doing it. I am not driving by this to get to that, right? As nice as that may be, I'm not doing it. Now, what happens when the older ones, which there's about 170 permits to demo homes right now in the city, what happens when you have a street full of $5, $6, $7 million homes? What happens when you have the interior homes that are now selling for $400,000, $280,000 when they're surrounded and they're now $1.5 million, right? $2 million homes. Now you drive down any street and you're starting to see a couple $1 million homes, $1.5 million at least on one side, 3 or 4 million on the other side. Now everybody likes to be around people like them. So you're going to see a rush into the marketplace for luxury homes. And you're seeing it, guys. This is a transition from a beach town to a resort town. And it's not just this one, it's up and down the coast. And it's just the evolution, it's what happens. So that's what I wanted to really drive home today for a lot of my local people. And please don't sell. If you're having a trouble figuring out the valuation to be able to rebuild it, please reach out. Right? I've got great appraisers. You can scroll down on my Facebook and other channels and just find what we're doing with those. It's easy to do, right? And it's legal to do, it's easy to do. You just need the right people to know what to do. And then you've got options. You can rebuild it to a really nice level. May or may not be worthwhile for you, or you could sell it the way that it is. So lots of questions, lots of answers. But if you're not buying right now, let me stop with this one point. If you have cash flow, access to capital, and you're not buying something in a market like this right now, you're going to kick your ass 2 years from now. And I want you to this is timestamp. This will live on this channel. And then when in January of 2025, you could buy a waterfront piece of property on the island, a couple-minute walk to the beach, for less than $600,000 right now. Call me, I'll get it for you. You can buy an interior lot on the island, couple-minute walk to the beach, for less than $300,000 right now, in the 200s. You're never going to be able to do this again, ever. Everything is 40, 50% off, and it should not be. Stop putting it on the market. Stop feeding the frenzy of low prices. It's dumb, right? If you're a buyer and not buying, I promise you're going to kick yourself in the butt. Call me, let's talk, let's think. Tag this a friend who's thinking about selling, and please tell them not to. And tag a friend who wants to buy and tell them, get your ass over here and buy now, because every minute you wait, it's going to restructure, and before you know it, it's going to come up. When we announce in a couple days the Marriott Beachmaker autograph hits the live open marketplace, game over, right? When the new Schooner Resort gets revealed, another multi-million-dollar project, there's probably $300 million worth of projects about to start in this one city right now. Okay? That has a huge impact, guys, right? And it's not just this city, it's all the other ones. I'm just using this as an example because I live in it. So there you go, and hope you guys heed the advice, and let me know if you have any other questions. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.